Avatar! Know that Britannia has entered into a new age of enlightenment. Know that the time has finally come for the one true Lord of Britannia to take his place at the head of his people. Under my guidance, Britannia will flourish, and all of the people shall rejoice and pay homage to their new guardian. Know that you too shall kneel before me, Avatar. You too will soon acknowledge my authority, for I shall be your companion, your provider, and your master.
Something is obviously amiss. It has been a long time since your last visit to Britannia. The mystical orb beckons you. It has opened gateways to Britannia in the past. Behind your house lies the Circle of Stones. Why is the Moongate already there? You have but one path to the answer. Welcome guys to Ultima VII The Black Gate. I am finally ready to play this one. It took me a little bit. I'm recording this on January 13th of Monday, and this should come out either tomorrow, if I get my thumbnail situation worked out, or Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Maybe just once this week, since I'm a little bit behind. I've been actually surprisingly busy the past several days. But yeah, this is Ultima VII The Black Gate. I am really excited to play this. This is my all-time favorite computer role-playing game for the computer. Number one, right next to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Deus Ex, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Sid Meier's Pirates, Crusader No Remorse, No Regret, which is also an Origin game, and so on and so forth. Probably not going to do a long monologue talking about how special this game is to me. Probably just going to jump right into it. We're playing this, I'll mention it a little bit though, because last time in Deus Ex it took me 20 minutes to even play the game. But we're playing this on the Exult engine, not DOSBox. Exult has a lot of features which I will go into as I'm playing this, so let's just dive right into it. We saw the introduction. We can start a new game, which I will choose in just a few seconds. Journey onwards continues from your last save point. I have none. If you have none, you click on this, it'll just start a new game. And view credits, and we can go back to the menu. Let's start a new game. We can choose between a male or a female avatar. Unfortunately, only one portrait for each. I was really surprised back when I played Ultima VI The False Prophet. There are a whole bevy of portraits you can choose for the avatar. I think there was 6, but in this game just this one and this one. But since we're on Exult, you get to choose the Serpent Isle portraits if you like. I usually don't, because I like to just go ahead and choose the base portraits for this game. So you can choose male or a female avatar. I'm gonna choose male. I'll name him Ruben, as I always do. This character is supposed to be your little avatar. He's your self-insert. Or you can make a original character if you like. You're free to do as you wish. There's a lot of self-inserts in this game, which I will go into as I play this game. And let's journey onward. Back to Britannia. There. 'Tis horrible. I know, 'tis shocking. Who could have done it? I know not. He had no enemies. Poor man. What is to be done? I know not. There's the Red Moongate, and there's us! Right here. A rather large, familiar man looks up and sees you. The shock that is evident from his dumbfounded expression quickly evolves into delight. He smiles broadly. Ruben! If I did not trust the infallibility of mine own eyes, I would not believe it. I was just thinking to myself, if only the Avatar were here, then... Lo and behold, who says that magic is dying? Here is living proof that it is not. Dost thou realize, Reuben, that it hath been 200 Britannian years since we last met? Why, thou hast not aged at all. That's a long time. Iolo winks conspiratorially. He whispers, due no doubt to the difference in the structure of time in our original homeland and that of Britannia? He resumes, speaking aloud. I have aged a little, as thou canst see, but of course I have stayed here in Britannia all this time. Oh, but Avatar, wait until I tell the others. They will be happy to see thee. Welcome to Trinsic, the city of honor. The distraught peasant interrupts Iolo. Show him the stairs, my lord. 'Tis horrible. Iolo nods, his joy fading quickly as he is reminded of the reason he was standing there in the first place. Ah, yes. Our friend Peter here has discovered something truly ghastly this morning. Take a look inside the stables. I shall accompany thee. Then we got an earthquake. Everyone's dancing around. And this guy's approaching us. All's not right in Britannia. Perhaps Lord British will know the reason behind this tremor. You see a middle-aged nobleman. Iolo, who is this stranger? Why, this is the Avatar, Iolo proudly proclaims. Canst thou believe it? May I introduce thee? This is Finnegan, the town mayor. And this is Reuben, the Avatar. I simply cannot believe he is here. The mayor looks you up and down, not sure if he believes Iolo or not. He looks at Iolo skeptically. I swear to thee, it is the Avatar. The mayor looks at you again as if he were studying every pore on your face. Finally, he smiles. Welcome, Avatar. But just as suddenly, Finnegan's face becomes stern. A horrible murder has occurred. If thou art truly the Avatar, perhaps thou canst help us solve it. I would feel better if thou takest this matter into thine hands. Yeah, they speak in Old English, which is going to be a little annoying for me. Thou shalt be handsomely rewarded if thou dost discover the name of the killer. Dost thou accept? We can say yes, or we can say no. We kind of don't really have a choice, so yes. Peter here knows something about all this. The peasant interjects. I discovered poor Christopher and the gargoyle Inimo earlier this morning. The mayor continues. Hast thou searched the stables? Well, we haven't, so we're going to say no. And I suggest that thou lookest inside and talkest to me again. Okay, well, we'll do that in a second. We're going to save the game, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Exult before we enter here there and see the ghastly scene that I'm sure awaits us. I'm going to save my game. We made a quick save just now. You press Ctrl S to quick save. I will call this the manual save, and I'll make a backup save. So this being Exult, you may notice we have, let me pause the game, portraits on the side. And we got paper dolls, which is kind of a new thing for Ultima VII, though these are Serpent Isle paper dolls. Exult lets you use their paper dolls in this game. I completely forgot that it defaults to that before I even started this, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to close out of that. Go into, not that.
20 seconds later.
There it is. Paper dolls, yes or no? I would choose no. I prefer to play without them because I rather like these black gate paper dolls. I think they're rather charming. Also, there's a bit of silliness with another character in regards to the Serpent Isle paper dolls. Let's exit out of that. So Exult has been in development, updated rather, since like 2003. This is basically my main way to play Ultima VII The Black Gate. It's a very, very good program. It is really, really, really good. But if you want the original experience, well, you're probably going to need to build a retro PC for that if you want the true, authentic experience with a CRT monitor. Or just playing DOSBox. But this game offers way too many quality of life features. It's actually the preferred way to play it. I recommend anyone who is interested in this game to play in Exult. It offers options such as, and I'll go through this really quickly. Video options, you can raise the internal resolution, upscale it. This is, I'm playing on my widescreen. Usually I play this on my 4x3 LCD monitor in the other room, but for the purposes of recording, I am playing this on my widescreen monitor. At least I can make use of the pillar boxing here to put portraits, which is also an Exult feature. You can also change the scaler if you like. You got bilinear plus, 2x, SAI, Super Eagle, which is what I used when I first played this back in like late 2000s or something like that. Super 2x SAI, scale 2x, HQ 2x, 3, 4. Well, X is times, 2 times BR, 3 times BR, 4 times BR. Point, which is probably the more authentic way to play, I guess. Interlaced, and back to bilinear. This scales the original resolution by times 8. So 320 by times 8, 2560 and 200 times 8, 1400. Did I get that right? I'm not good at math when I'm talking and playing at the same time. Game area, you want to keep this at 320 by 200. Raising the internal resolution is cheating, by the way, because you weren't meant to see beyond the screen. You can raise it a little bit, which might, you know, it'll probably look better, but this is how I usually play with aspect ratio correction on, film mode fit, I guess, and that is basically it. This engine also has, the software also has cheats, various features. You can turn off the status bars if you like, if you want the true authentic experience, but it's very handy having these on. Without these on, you won't know how many hit points your characters have. You can also, let me see here, raise the FPS of the game. It's at 5 FPS right now. Usually I play with 10 FPS, but you saw how Yolo and Peter were talking, right? The text above their heads. It's a bit too fast at 10 FPS. You can raise the combat difficulty, combat charm difficulty, and all sorts of fun stuff, as well as, this is a big one, digital music. We're not playing with Roland MT32 music. This is digitally enhanced music. I actually prefer to play with digital music on versus the Roland MT32 or Sound Blaster. In fact, I've only played this game a handful of times on an actual PC when I was a kid, and for the longest time, I was not able to play this game because Windows computers were basically, well, they moved away from DOS. I played this on Windows 95, which lets us restart into DOS, and that's how I was able to play, but after that, I basically didn't play this game until I was an adult again. But with Exult, you can also change the volume mixing if you like. This is actually new. The last update was in September. He is always updating this software with snapshots and stuff, but this is the official version. Okay, that's enough gabbing. I think I'm ready to play. It's been, 13 minutes. Well, we got a murder to solve, so let's dive right in. Wow, that was one dead guy. More than dead. Each limb cut off rather brutally. I imagine he was dead while that happened, otherwise he'd be screaming to the high heavens. Because Trinsic is a rather small city, I imagine someone would have hurt him. Well, hopefully it was quick. I do see something though. I see a key. We will take it. That opens likely a door or a chest, obviously. We also have a bucket of blood and footprints leading outside that I will investigate in just a few seconds. But in here, we got the gargoyle Inamo, who has been Geralt into the wall. Wow, poor guy. Does he have anything on him? Nope. This is how you loot bodies, but he has nothing on him, so I'll leave him be. You can actually move this body around if you like, which is rather amusing, but I will leave it alone. We got a bag, which has some gold, a torch, and a piece of bread, or a loaf of bread. We also got a gargoyle jewelry, which I'll also take. That is evidence. I'll take all the things. I'll take that. And let's head out to the back. This is where the horses hang out. Double click on them doesn't do anything. This game is very interactable. The game world basically, it's living and breathing. It's a living, breathing fantasy world. And we feel like, and it really does make you feel like you're your own character. Like even though you're the avatar, the most important champion of the 8 virtues, you still kind of feel like a character in this world, despite that. Well, I imagine they probably went up here and jumped over or something like that. The assailants or assailant. I will close this door. Make sure no kids see inside that grisly scene. Let's talk to Finnegan again. Pay no mind to, I have a bad feeling about that. That happens when I quick save. This game is still, this engine is still rather finicky. Hast thou properly searched the stables? Yes. What dost thou find? We found, we can say a bucket, a body, or a key. He will make fun of you if you choose these, because it's obvious. We're going to choose a key. A key. Perhaps if thou dost ask Christopher's son about it, He may know what it is for. Alright, his name is Finnegan, so we're not going to ask him his name. Let's ask him about the murder some more. A crime like this has never happened in Trinsic before. I cannot believe this happened to Christopher and Inimo. Please, explore the town. I would appreciate it if thou wouldst bring me a report on thy progress. Be sure to ask everyone in town about the murder. After speaking with Christopher's son, thou mightest next want to speak with Gilberto, the guard on watch at the dock last night. The mayor hesitates, then leans in to speak quietly. Actually, I have seen something like this before. It was about 4 years ago, in Britain. Well, tell me about that. 'Twas before I came to Trinsic. There was a murder with strikingly similar aspects. A body was found mutilated, exactly like poor Christopher. It appeared to be a ritualistic killing. I will wager that whoever was responsible for that murder is the culprit behind this one. Well, if it's the same exact killing, it likely was. Let's ask him about, Christopher. Christopher was a local blacksmith. He lives, or rather lived, with his son in the northwest part of town. The blacksmith's shop is in the southwest corner. Christopher was not a rich man by any means. He barely kept himself and his son alive. But he certainly enjoyed his work. Tell me about his son. Christopher's son is called Spark. That's a fitting name for a son of a blacksmith, isn't it? Their house is in the northwest area of town. Okay, what about Inimo the gargoyle, who was garroted into the wall? The gargoyle Inimo slept in the stables, as I understand it. I believe he emigrated here from Turfin a few months ago. It seems that he was merely a chance victim of someone intent on violence. So he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is unfortunate. Gilberto. He was struck from behind early this morning and was knocked senseless. Johnson, the morning watch, found him unconscious. He is recuperating at Chantu the healer's house on the west side of town. Tell me about Chantu. He's our town healer. He hath been here for years. Nice fellow. Okay, what about Johnson? He's probably at the dock right now. Okay, and the report, well, that's basically us continuing our investigation. We haven't found new information, so we won't choose that. What about your job? I'm the mayor of Trinsic and have been since I arrived here 3 years ago. Well, tell me about Trinsic, even though we should probably know about it. Even though this is really my first Ultima game I'm doing a Let's Play on. Trinsic was once the city of honor. I suppose it still is. Our rune of honor was taken many years ago by one who claimed he was the Avatar. I believe it now resides in the Royal Museum in Britain, yet the empty pedestal still remains in the center of town. I feel this is symbolic of the town itself. It is rather empty of people, of life, and of honor. It's sad, really. Then there is this murder, of course. We have temporarily closed the gates of the city and require a password to get in or out. Okay, password? I will give thee the password when thou hast given me a report on the progress of thine investigation. Okay, well, bye. Name, job, buy. Those are the most famous lines the Avatar utters in this game. The mayor nods his head at you and goes on about his business, which is rather a funny thought. Imagine the Avatar is actually saying name, job, buy, and people are telling him information. Let's talk to Peter, and then we'll explore the town of Trinsic. It's been almost 20 minutes, my goodness. There's going to be a lot of talking in this part, by the way. Not a whole lot of action. You see a distraught peasant. Art thou really the Avatar? So we can say yes, or we can say no. If you choose no, he says, don't make fun of me. So we're going to choose yes, because that's who we are. Peter bows before you. But Lord. Okay, his name's Peter. Let's ask him about the murder. I discovered poor Christopher and Inimo earlier this morning. I did not touch a thing. Made me sick, it did. I don't blame you. Can you tell me about Christopher? Nice man. He made the shoes for mine horses. What about Inimo? He worked for very little money, did basic chores around the stables and the pub. I let him sleep in the little back room. He must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. I saw footprints in the back. Can you tell me anything about that? They doth lead out the back way, yes? That's what I said. They must be the tracks of the murderer. His eyes widened a bit more. Or, murderers. And that's, ask him about his job, I guess. I'm the stable's caretaker. Oh, really? Tell me about that. I've worked here for years. I can sell thee a nice horse and carriage, if thou dost want one. The animal and the carriage are located in a small shelter just outside the north gate of town. Right now the place gives me the creeps. His eyes are wild with fright. These peasants are very, very, easily scared. I don't blame them. Their stats are probably like in the single digits or something like that. The horse and carriage combination sells for 60 gold. Dost thou want a title? No. Some other time then. You can totally buy it and travel around the world like that if you like. We will say bye. Goodbye, the man sniffs, and I will save right here. And before I continue, I gotta go into my inventory and take stock before we go talk to the Christophers. The blacksmith's son, Spark, my goodness. So the avatar has a piddly dagger, leather leggings, leather boots, and leather armor. Go into our backpack, we got a map of Britannia. Got that key from Christopher, some lockpicks right there. I don't want to click on every single one of these because it takes a little bit for the text to disappear. We got a torch, got some gold, 10 pieces of gold on the avatar. Gold has its own weight. If you carry too much, you can hit the weight limit. We got a mug, bottle of ale, bread, and an apple. We'll go into YOLO's inventory. That's how his name's pronounced. He's also got leather equipment, just like us. He's got a crossbow, which he's known to be rather good at. YOLO is a bard. Not only does he know how to use a crossbow, he knows how to play the lute. And a little bit of trivia here. YOLO is based off, I think the guy's name is YOLO Fitz-Owen. He's a real person living in Texas. And he actually knows how to, he's a bower, which means he knows how to make crossbows. And he legit knows how to play the lute. So when it comes to self-inserting, this is literally him in every sense of the word. And he is rather old, isn't he? He was obviously much younger in Ultima 4, 5, and 6. He's a longtime companion of the Avatar. And he's going to be our constant companion in this game and the next one, part 2. And what he has in his inventory, he's got an abacus right here. Some more crossbow bolts that I will add to is right there. 60 bolts. He's also got a wine cup, a bottle of something, some bread, meat, and he's got some gold, which I will take. I will also take the abacus, and I'll also go ahead and give him this, and I will also give him the food. He'll be the food guy. And I'll also go ahead and organize a little bit right here, which I will do throughout the game. I like to organize my inventory. Though if I think it should be cut out, I will cut it out and skip ahead. That's one of the benefits to this game. This blew my mind. This blew my mind back in the day. You can pick up literally anything in the game if it can be picked up. It's rather impressive even today for a 1992 video game. Let's close out of that. And I played this back in like 95 or something on a CD. Not on a floppy disk. Let's move forward. But yeah, this game is, this part, it's going to be long. Be hours as usual. There's going to be a lot of talking. A lot of talking. Not much action. This game is rather a slow burn. Usually when I play this, I talk to literally every NPC I come across. But I probably won't do that in this playthrough. Just do the important bits like the fun side quests and whatnot. Okay, northwest part of town. This must be it. Hello, anybody inside? Ah, that definitely must be Spark. That's not his name, that's a bed. I click on the bed by accident. And we already know his name. Let's talk to him. You see a boy who appears to be a young teen. He is dirty and unkempt. He looks as if he has been crying, but he sits up straight and looks sharp when he sees you. Who art thou? What dost thou want? You realize the boy has a sling in his hand. You face the boy and tell him who you are. So we can call ourselves Reuben or Avatar. I'm going to go ahead and choose Reuben because we are practicing the humility virtue, I guess. So, what makes these so special? If you say Avatar, though, he doesn't believe you. He likens it to a tall tale Aeodon or something like that. I forget the line. Boy, this is the Avatar. Upon my word he is. He has come to help thee. Then the boy narrows his eyes, studying you. He slowly lowers his weapon, ready to act in case it's a trap. You admire the boy's obvious experience in dealing with strangers. You and Spark stare at each other. He's not sure what to do. Finally, he nods his head. All right, I believe thee. Thou dost look like paintings I have seen. I am sorry, my lord. My lord. We already know his name. He likely doesn't have a job. He's just, he's an orphan. Well, we'll ask him about the key. Can you tell me about this key? That looks like the key to Father's chest. It was a chest. I wonder where it was. What do you do for work? I have no job. I am only 14. So I'm just learning how to best help Father in the smithy, he says proudly. But then he suddenly realizes something which terrifies him. And now that Father is dead, I am an orphan. An orphan? My mother died a long time ago. I can just barely remember her. What about your father? Father was a blacksmith. I cannot believe that he has been murdered. He had no enemies that I know of, unless it was the Fellowship. The Fellowship? What's the Fellowship? Well, at first they harassed Father and me when they came around asking us to join. I suppose they did good things. Many people liked them. Father eventually joined the group after he went to Britain and took one of their tests. Tests? I do not know anything about them. I never took one. Maybe thou shouldst ask the man at the Fellowship branch, Clog. Interesting name? Clog? Tell me about him. He's the head of the Fellowship branch here in Trinsic. He and Father got into an argument a week ago when Clog and two of his friends came over to talk with Father. There's a long branching dialogue path, which is one of the first things Ultima did, by the way. Branching dialogue was a thing, like Ultima, take a little break here, but Ultima basically did things first, like open world, branching dialogue paths, exploration, so the role-playing games we have nowadays would probably not exist if not for Ultima, or they would have taken it from a game other than Ultima if that game did it first. Tell me about his friends. I do not remember what they looked like. I did not recognize them. They were most likely some other members of the Fellowship. About this argument you were talking about. I don't know what it was about. Perhaps thou shouldst ask Clog. You see about this old English, it doesn't roll off the tongue all that well. I'm doing my best here. Live, I'm not doing this through Audacity or anything like that and redoing lines. What about this branch? The Fellowship has branches all over Britannia. Smithy. Father was the best blacksmith in Britannia. Wow, he's the best, but he lives like this? People are always coming from everywhere to get him to make this and that. Okay, well, let's ask him about the murder. I cannot believe Father is dead, and poor Inamo too. It is so strange. I dreamed it was happening. Well, in a way. Last night I was having a nightmare about Father. I dreamed that he screamed and it woke me up. I looked around the house, but he was not in his bed. I was wide awake, so I went out to find him. Tell me about this nightmare. That sounds interesting. I know it sounds witless, but I dreamed that a big red-faced man was watching down on everything, and he looked down and he noticed Father. That is all I remember. Red-faced, you say? We encountered someone like that earlier back on Earth, in the Avatar's home on Texas. Inamo. He was a very nice gargoyle. He helped Father a lot and did tasks in the stables. I cannot think why anyone would want to kill him. Okay, what did you find in the, wherever? No, I did not find him, at least not right away, but I did see something. Something? I was in front of the stables. I saw a man and a wingless gargoyle running from behind the building. They ran toward the dock. Then I went inside and found... Father. Spark's voice falters and he begins to sob a little. Tell me about this gargoyle. It's a good thing they didn't find you, otherwise you would have probably been dead too. Excuse me. I cannot tell one gargoyle from another. I cannot identify him, except he had no wings. About this man. All I saw of him was that the man had a hook for a right hand. Oh, that's our suspect. Our chief suspect. Hook. Wilt thou go find the man with the hook? Let me help thee, the boy pleads. His tears cease, and his face takes on a determined yet forceful look. Take me with thee, please. I must avenge Father's death. If thou dost not take me with thee, I will follow thee anyway. The boy is all excited now. I am an expert with a slingshot. I can strike sewer rats with almost every shot. And I am small. I do not eat much. Yeah, right. Please take me. Please ask me to join thee. Yolo whispers to you. I do not know about taking a child on the road with us, my lord. Suddenly, Spark lets his sling fly. His target, a small fly hovering above Yolo's head, is smacked out of the air. You laugh as Yolo yelps, jumps away, curses, and runs his fingers through his hair. I told thee I am good. May I join? So we can say yes, or we can say no. We're going to say yes. Hooray! And his portrait changes to a much happier, chubby-cheeked 14-year-old dude. Hooray! The boy leaps with delight. Alright, farewell. Alright, I will speak with thee later. And we got a third party member, Spark. And speaking of which, let's take a little break and talk about the status menu of your characters. So bringing these up, you can press Z as well to open these up, if you want to open up very quickly. So we have 18 across the board in stats, 14 combat, 10 magic, 18 hit points, hits in this game, and 10 mana. We have 200 experience, we're at level 3, and training means training points. We have 3 training points to spend on various stats. You spend training points at a trainer. There's a trainer in each and every city. Some trainers are better than others. Some train strength, dex, intelligence, combination of, as well as all these right here. So strength raises your, if I remember correctly, I forgot to brush up on my mechanics of this game. So bear with me here. Strength increases your carry capacity and your hit points. I don't think it measures how hard you hit. Not sure. Dexterity raises your combat. Combat raises your chance to hit an enemy, I think, or the damage of your stat. Can't remember, but intelligence by itself doesn't really do anything. What it does is raises your mana and your magic, and only the avatar can cast magic. I probably should have brushed up on my stats before I started playing this. I completely forgot. YOLO, him being a bard, has a bit better dex. He's got 20 intelligence, which makes him, well, smarter than us, surprisingly. 18 strength, 19 combat, 18 hit points, and he's also level 3. I will close those. Or you can right-click the Gump. They're called Gumps in this game to close the stats page. Spark, at a glance, seems rather weak. He's got 14 strength, 22 dex, 18 intelligence, and 10 combat, which is very, very low. The first thing you may want to raise if you play this game is combat. It is very, very important. And he's got 14 hit points. So he seems rather weak, but look a little bit closer. He's level 1, and he already has 3 training points. He has the potential to be the best party member in the entire game. And he will be. We're not going to have him use a sling for very much longer. We're going to give him a better weapon in the future. I will go in here, and he has practically nothing. Doesn't even have shoes. You remember what I said about paper dolls, the Serpent Isle ones? The reason why I like to switch on over to the Black Gate paper dolls is because when you have the Serpent Isle paper dolls, this is what Spark looks like. He's got a 14-year-old face, head, with the body of a man. It looks silly. It always bugs me. Not really a big deal if you have him dressed up in full plate armor, but I like to turn this off. That may be disappointing to some people, and me personally, I like these paper dolls. I like to try to play the game like back in the day. I'm gonna give Spark food, water, alcohol, and all that, just because I can. We don't need these cups. I like to designate each character carrying certain stuff. Let's go upstairs because there is a chest in here. And with this being an old game, you can't just double click on the chest to open it, even though you have a key in your inventory. You have to either double click on the key and do that, or you can use the hotkey K, which also relocks the chest, which is a nice little feature, and unlocks the chest, which is also a nice feature. Let's open inside and see what's inside. We got a Fellowship Medallion. Well, he was a member of the Fellowship. He's got a scroll, which I'll read. Thou hast received payment. Make the delivery tonight. And he's got 100 gold pieces. Wow. It's a lot of gold. We'll take it. It is evidence. We'll also take the scroll and the Fellowship medallion, I guess. Nothing in the chest, so I won't relock it. I like to store stuff in chests in this game. There's a base I like to set up in this game, which will be a spoiler if I mention it, so I won't do anything. We got a parakeet, though. Or a parrot. Let's talk to him. Squawk! What else does he say? I know where the treasure is. You do? Ah. There's a way to find out, by the way. See this mallet here? We're going to double click on it. Oh, it's a gavel. And use it on the parrot. Give him a light little tap on the head. I will tell. The treasure is at 169 South. 28 East. So there's a tool you can get in this game that lets you know what position you are in the game world, but it only works outside of the building. We don't have the tool yet. Once I get it, I will let you know. Trying to be kind of vague as to what kind of stuff we're going to get, even in something as mundane as that, just because, just in case someone watching this is brand new to the series, there's a lot of stuff still in my head, by the way. I feel like I'm missing out on things, but if I start explaining the entire history of Ultima, this video would be like 3 hours long, and I want to play. You know, I feel like I wasted time already talking about Exult. So we'll close that and talk to him again. So he has another line, and once I get to that line, I will probably skip ahead. Give me a cracker. That's not it. There's one more. Pretty bird. There we go. I didn't have to skip ahead, thankfully. Ugly bird. Ugly boy. Hey. You know what? We're going to bring this parrot with us. And Spark can carry him in the backpack. It's completely safe. At least I think so. In fact, I think I'm just going to leave him here for now. That kind of kills my immersion, actually. Because how can a bird breathe inside a backpack? We'll leave him here for now, and we'll come back later. I like to bring that parrot with us. Okay, the key doesn't work on that. I was hoping it would. All the doors in this house, to these houses, are open. They're not locked. And speaking of which, you can break into houses and steal stuff if you like. You're thematically not really supposed to. The avatar is the ultimate good guy. He's the avatar of the 8 virtues. Justice, compassion, honor, honesty, sacrifice, humility. Did I say honesty already? There's 8 virtues. Valor, honor, and they're all based around the principles of truth, love, and courage. Which may sound rather gay to you, but I think it's rather cool. I miss these classic hero knightly kind of characters. Basically what that means is that the avatar is, like, Yellow's a bard, and that represents the virtue, I think, compassion, I believe, because you recruited him back in Ultima IV in Britain, the capital Britannia. Spark has no virtue, he's just a tag-along party member. The avatar is basically all the classes rolled into one. He's the ultimate, I guess you can call him a Gary Stu in a way. He's good at magic, he's good at knowing how to use a crossbow, a bow, knows how to use a sword, all kinds of weapons. He's like, that food smells good. Let's go into the tavern and take a break. And we got some music. A new feature to Exult with the last update is the feature, not that one, I keep pressing the wrong thing. Looping music at auto. Before, if the music was endless, it would keep playing. Auto plays it so long as you're in the building, I imagine. So as long as you're in a tavern, it would always play the tavern music. Once you step outside, the music will stop. It helps you immerse yourself better into the game. I also have to apologize if you're like a long-time fan of Ultima VII, you're hoping to have the Roland MT32 soundtrack. I just vastly prefer the digital music. Let's check the registrar. Let's double-click that. The Honorable Hound. Walter of Britain. Jaffe of you. Dave Jaffe? I hope not. Yana. That's a familiar name, and I will mention that later on if that's the same Yana or Jana. I think it's Yana. I saw the pronunciation online. And Attons of Serpent's Hold. Let's talk to this fine lady, if I can. If they move, you can press T for talk and just do that. That way you don't have to follow them if they go off screen or something like that. And speaking of which, I just literally found that out months ago when I was testing the game out on my other PC. You see a gorgeous and voluptuous woman in her 30s. What's your name? My name is Apollonia. Geez, even her name is sultry, she says as her tongue licks her upper lip. What can you tell me about your job? Why, I run the Honorable Hound Pub and Inn, she purrs. Wouldst thou like a room, or wouldst thou like something to eat or drink? Just say so, and I shall try to please thee with my delicacies. Blank. You realize she is flirting with you. Wow. The Avatar is that good, he knows when girls are flirting with him. Flirt. Back. I imagine Apollonia blushes and bats her eyelashes. Oh, Ruben, I will wager that thou dost say that to all the barmaids. I do. Alright, let's get back to business. Tell me about the Honorable Hound. I can think of no better place in all of Trinsic to lay thine head to rest, or to nibble upon treats to satisfy thine appetite. Can you tell me about the... We'll ask her that last, I guess. What do you have for food-wise? We serve the finest meat, fish, and cake. Our specialty is a silverleaf meal. If thou wouldst like to buy something, please say so. What is silverleaf? What a delicacy. It is the most wonderful delicacy that thou shalt ever eat. It is worth every gold piece spent. What about drinking? I can offer thee mead, wine, and ale. Well, mead sounds good. Room? Rooms are cheap. Only 6 gold per person per night. Want a room? No, thank you. Some other night, then. Okay, buy. What was I like? And this is how you buy stuff. You get options and whatever you want, just buy it. She offers mutton, bread, mead, flounder, silverleaf, cake, wine, and ale. I don't want anything. Nothing at all? Well, alright. She bats her eyelashes at you and grins. Now tell me about the murder. Apollonia shuts her eyes and shakes her head as if she had just bitten into a very sour lemon. Oh, that was so hideous. How could anyone do something so horrible? Art thou searching for information? I do hope thou dost find the person responsible. We will. Oh, bye. Apollonia blows a kiss at you. Do come again. Nothing comes from that flirting, by the way. So, you know how I said this game is highly interactable? Because if you sit down, you can sit down in chairs and stuff, like this. And so are your party members, which is really nice. Let's take a little break and talk to YOLO. Yes, my friend, YOLO asks. They make fun of you, or they're surprised at you if you ask them their name. Or they think you're joking. Let's ask him about, let's just, you know, BS with him, I guess. Tell him about Trinsic. Town has changed little, has it not? You know, I can't even remember what the layout of this city back in Ultima VI. It's been a long time since I played it. I only played it once. Everyone seems a little defensive, though. When we ran into each other, I was just passing through and had stopped to visit my old friend, Vinnigan. Well, tell me about him. He's a good man, the mayor of Trinsic he is. I've known him for many years. Defensive. I think it best for thee to speak with him at thyself. There have been many changes since this last visit, Avatar. I think thou wilt feel at times a bit, well, old-fashioned. So it's been 200 Britannian years since the Avatar arrived in Britannia? That's a long time. Though, YOLO aged just slower, I believe, because it's not really mentioned in this game. He is also from Earth, just like we are. Just like Lord British is, as well as a few of our other companions. So in that respect, I believe they age slower than actual Britannians. Let's ask him about the Fellowship. I do not know much about them, except that they originated about 20 Britannian years ago. They seem to do good deeds and are looked at with favor by most everyone. They have branch offices all over Britannia. I have not personally had any dealings with them. I've been trying to voice act an old man voice, but I'm not a voice actor, so I imagine it would be very annoying if I did it. Okay, tell me about your job. Alright, now 'tis adventuring with that most courageous of all legendary heroes, the Avatar. Why, there is no doubt thou art the Avatar, Reuben. However, thou mayst have some trouble convincing those who do not know thy face. Of course, thou shouldst be safe around thy friends. Okay, time out. The Avatar is literally the most important guy in the world next to Lord British, as well as companions, on a, quote, lesser standpoint. I don't mean that as a disrespectful kind of tone. So, with him being the Avatar and saving the world like many times already up to this point, there should be statues of him around the world. There should be portraits and paintings of him. Unless, you know, maybe the Avatar is too busy to get a portrait of him constructed, painted rather, and a statue constructed. That's better. So, yeah, just a thing. Let's ask him about trouble. Well, after all, thou hast been gone for 200 years. Most of those who recognize thee are long gone. Sorry to be blunt and all, my friend, but there it is. Yeah, right. And with Avatar being back on Earth while the passage of time ravages Britannia, he's basically the same age as the last game, though he does looks about 30, I guess. He looks like mid-30s to me. That's about friends. That must mean Chamino and Dupre. Chamino? Thy best bet in finding that rascal is to look in Britain. He has a girlfriend employed as an actress at the Royal Theatre. Well, I was dating an actress, huh? Yeesh. Okay, Britain. It has grown since thou last saw it. Paws is now a virtual township of Britain. It dominates the east coast of Britannia. Lord British's castle is still the overwhelming feature. Lord British. My liege will be enormously pleased to see thee. We should travel to Britain, post-haste. I'm sure he can give thee some valuable information and update thee on much of what thou hast missed in the 200 years of thine absence. Tell me about our old friend, Dupre. I'm sure we shall find him somewhere. Last I heard, he was in Jellum. Didst thou know he was knighted? We can say no, or we can say yes. So a bit of a spoiler of the previous game. He was literally a knight in Ultima VI, I believe, so the answer should be yes. But I feel like the writers put this in as an option because they just, I guess they forgot. A bit of a pause here, but continuity between Ultima games is not exactly, it's not strong. There's a lot of continuity errors. There's a website called Ultima Nitpicks, I forget the website link, where you can go and check the various nitpicks and inconsistencies across each and every series. Their Ultima 9 page is the biggest. We're going to choose yes. Hard to believe, is it not? Okay, pause. Tell me about that. It still lies between Britain and Trinsic, but it has grown further into Britain itself. Information? Certainly. LB is always a repository of the most amazing facts, eh? Probably has something to do with listening and not always talking. Speaking of information, excuse me. Had a little hiccup there. Reminds me of something. I have a little item which might be useful to thee. 'Tis an abacus. Use it to tally up all of our gold. I'm way ahead of you. I took it right out of your backpack. You did? When did you do that? Before we, investigated Christopher's, murder. Oh, you sneaky scoundrel. You're supposed to be an avatar. You're not supposed to steal. Well, it's not stealing if it's from a friend, right? I'm just playing a practical joke. Oh, fair enough. Tell me about the murder. Ugly, is it not? What I have heard, neither Christopher nor Inamo deserve so grisly a death. Thou shouldst certainly ask everyone in town about it. And we will. Man, it's been 48 minutes. I actually might play this game a little bit longer than an hour. This is a very long game. If you literally look under every stone, explore every area, talk to every NPC, do every side quest, I believe this game can last 60 hours. So I'll be playing this game for most of this year. I imagine it's going to take like 6 months. I might occasionally release a third video a week instead of like 2. Depends on how I feel, really. And I might take breaks if I want to go stream as well. I really want to get back into it. I want to play Deus Ex Revision, but back to this game. Let's ask him about Christopher. I did not know him, my lord. Oh, doesn't know anything about him. Okay. But Inamo. I never spoke with him. It is truly a shame. There are not many gargoyles living amongst the humans. This will only discourage the practice even more. Gargoyles? Since thou art last in Britannia, the gargoyles have begun to integrate with the humans. Most of them live on Sutek's old island, which was renamed Turfin. However, thou may have see one here and there throughout the land. And that's it. Bye. It is always a pleasure to speak with thee, my friend. Let's go ahead and leave. Yeah, in the previous game, there was a war between the Britannians and the gargoyles. And that war ended by the Avatar bringing peace to both races. So it's been 200 years, and they don't seem to be doing too well here in Britannia, to be perfectly honest. Let's talk to Johnson. I think that's this guy's name, right? You've seen an alert and no nonsense guard. He's got a funny looking helmet. I've always found his helmet to look rather amusing. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but he's wearing a fellowship medallion. That's not his chin or goatee or anything like that. That's a fellowship medallion. Each character who's a member of the fellowship will have this around their neck. Let's ask his name. Johnson. Oh, that was short and simple. Job? The morning watch guarding the dock. I authorize the comings and goings of every ship. Ship? If thou dost want a ship, thou must get a deed from the shipwright. Thou must also have the password leave town. Password? What is it? I don't know. Thou dost not know the password? I am sorry. The mayor may give thee the proper password. Alright, what about this deed you're saying? Thou canst purchase that from Gargan to shipwright. Okay, tell me about that fellowship medallion around your neck, or their organization in general. And after we talk to him, we're going to go to the fellowship branch, which is nearby. Yes, I am a member. Wouldst thou like to join? No. 'Tis thy loss. Okay, who's Clog? Good man. He is our branch leader here in Trinsic. Can you tell me about the murder that happened? I did hear of this. When I arrived at my post at sunrise, I found Gilberto lying felled on the ground. Ithara asking if I saw anything, I did not. No one hath passed by me since I arrived at the dock. Okay, hook. A man with a hook? No, I saw no one all night or all morning, and that's it. Fare thee well, good day. And let's leave. And go to the Fellowship branch, which says Fellowship Hall. I forgot to mention, yeah. Some signs are in English, some are in runes. And this is an actual language. There's an alphabet in the manual. And back when I was a kid, I had a blast translating what each and every single rune meant. This one over here says, the Honorable Hound. And I can't read this. I used to be able to read all of this without having to refer to the alphabet. I only know that because that's what Apollonia said. It's the Honorable Hound. Ah, I got a dog here. I can't double click on him. I'm sad. Darn it. Let's just leave him be then. And go over here. A little bit of break to get my voice, a break. Okay, that must be Clog here, and that is a peasant and a sage. Let's talk to him. This man exudes kindness and geniality. Ah, Avatar, I recognize thee at once. Word has moved through town quickly. I heard thou art here. What's your name? My name is Clog. Can you tell me about your job? I'm the Trinsic branch leader for the Fellowship. I work here with my wife, Ellen. Okay, tell me about her. She's my wife and bookkeeper for our branch. Can you tell me about the Fellowship? The Fellowship meets here at the branch office in Trinsic every night at 9. Thou art welcome to attend. The Fellowship is a wonderful organization that is open to all the people of Britannia. I have learned so much through studying its philosophy, and it has helped me to live my life to the fullest. Through the Fellowship, I am able to achieve what I have set out to do in life, and I am a better person for having joined. A little bit of a break here, but this text actually bothers a lot of people's eyes. You can change this with a mod, but I'm one of those weirdos that doesn't get bothered by this old school calligraphy here. I don't really get a headache from it. Exult does allow you to put like a background, like a white or a different color background to make it easier to read, but I found no need for it, and I kind of like how it blends in with the environment. It could be because of the scaler I'm using, bilinear. Yeah, let's ask him about his philosophy. The Fellowship advances the philosophy of sanguine cognition. That's a fancy name. A way to apply a confident order of thought to one's life, through what is called the triad of inner strength. The triad is simply 3 basic principles that, when applied in unison, enable one to be more creative, satisfied, and successful in life. They are strive for unity, trust thy brother, and worthiness precedes reward. Strive for unity basically means that people should cooperate and work together. Trust thy brother implies that we are all the same, and that we should not hate or fear each other. Worthiness precedes reward suggests that we must each strive to be worthy of that which we want out of life. Dost thou want to join? No. Oh, well, perhaps thou canst become enlightened another time. That's a little passive-aggressive. We're going to get that from these Fellowship members, by the way. They are not very trustworthy people. Let's ask him about the murder. Well, the man says, reflecting, I was home all night, and my wife Ellen will certainly verify that. But, as we say in the Fellowship, worthiness precedes reward. Christopher must have done something bad, and the poor gargoyle Inamo too. 'Tis a pity. That's rather victim blamey, don't you think? Jeez, don't be a therapist. Let's ask him about or something. Christopher, why not? Christopher was a valued member of the Fellowship for some time. Unfortunately, we got into a petty argument last week. Tell me about this argument. Last week, Christopher stated that he wanted to leave the Fellowship. Canst thou imagine? Well, we simply attempted to speak with him and alter his decision. The man verbally assaulted me and my companions with no provocation. Their companions? They have gone to Fellowship headquarters here in Britain. They were here delivering Fellowship funds. Their names are Elizabeth and Abraham. Tell me about Inamo. I did not know the gargoyle. It sounds as if he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. 'Tis a pity. Huh, this guy likes saying that, doesn't he? Can you tell me about test? Batlin and Britain will be happy to administer our test to thee. Thou shouldst certainly take it. Who knows? Thou mayst find something within thee that needs improving. I don't need the fellowship. I have the virtues. Asking about, can you tell me about this gold? I do not know what thou art talking about. What about this medallion? Christopher had expressed interest in leaving the fellowship. Perhaps he had stored it for safekeeping. Can you tell me about this scroll? I do not know anything about that. I don't believe you. What about Hook? I'm afraid I do not know a man of that description, and that's all he has to say. Not very trustworthy, is he? If there is anything else I may help thee with, Reuben, let me know. So this may be a bit disappointing to some people, but I don't plan on stealing anything in this game. I really like to immerse myself into the role of the Avatar. I'll probably be the first Let's Player that does that, won't I? But if you can figure out a way and nobody's around, you can start stealing things. Anything that's not nailed down is yours. Anything you can carry is yours. And this box is 100 gold. So you can totally just open it and take it and run away. However, your companions will not like that, namely Yolo, Dupre, Chamino. They will leave if you steal in front of them too often. And you basically have to apologize and grovel for them to come back into your group. Or you can play this game completely on your own, which will be a bit challenging in the beginning. This is a rather easy game, even without all the items that I know are at. I know a very good area outside of Trinsic that we are going to hit up. Probably not in this part because this part's going to end very, very quickly. Let's talk to Ellen, and I'll probably end this video soon. Not sure. Can I just press T? In. This is a woman who seems pleasant and welcoming. I am proud to meet the Avatar, she says, beaming. What is your name? My name is Ellen. What is your job? I do the bookkeeping at the Fellowship branch. I work with mine husband, Clog. Tell me about your husband. Mine husband, Clog, is a wonderful branch leader. He is an inspiration to all of the Trinsic members. Fellowship? Perhaps thou wouldst call it a confident philosophy. We meet here at the branch office every night. Branch office? The Fellowship has branches all over Britannia. It is the most popular philosophical society. Philosophy? And she just repeats what Clog says, as well as practically every other NPC who's in the Fellowship in this game. We're not going to read all that because we already read it. No, I don't want to join. And she's also being passive-aggressive as well. They all say that. Can you tell me about that murder that happened right over a few feet away? 'Tis awful, is it not? Of course, I was home with Clog all night. Goodbye. Goodbye, I hope to see thee again soon. Let's read this book. The Book of the Fellowship by Batlin of Britain. Good morning to thee, gentle friend and traveler. No matter what time of day it might be when thou art reading this, no matter what the hour of the clock, I say good morning to thee because this very moment brings to thee the coming of the dawn. The dawn, as everyone knows, is the moment when illumination comes. The dawn marks the end of the long dark night. It is the moment that marks a new beginning. It is my humble hope that these words may be for thee a dawning, or at least a sort of awakening. And that is all it says. So if you made it this far, you see I wasn't kidding about how much talking there is in the beginning stages of the game. And we still got a few more NPCs to go to.